Hey, what is going on, everyone, and welcome to another baby account update. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my completion of Dark Dimension 3. Yes, on New Year's Eve, I officially completed Dark Dimension 3, and now I am back into Dark Dimension 3. We're actually onto the global lane. I completely cleared the first 4 nodes today, although I won't be starting global until tomorrow, so I want to talk about more about that, because the hardest areas of DD3 is the global lane. So I want to talk about some of the plans that I have for my second run, some of the things I did right on my first run, and the characters that I used. I also want to talk very briefly about my progress and a little bit about my thoughts on Tower Mode as it pertains to lower accounts, particularly my baby account here. Do more Chapter 3 because we are getting closer to that. So some of the progress that I made in Chapter 2, we're going to be talking about that as well. And all things more, including how powerful the Eternals are and why they're the only couple that you need. So without further ado, let's get this show started. So to start things off here, we're going to be talking about Dark Dimension 3 first of all. So clicking on the leaderboard, because I did clear it, turns out that I am a 132,590th person to have cleared Dark Dimension 3 on its completion run. Now, I am just starting the timed run, actually. I'm only about 2 hours in as of recording this. It took me about 53 minutes. I have a screenshot of that in case anyone cares on my Discord, to clear the first 4 nodes. Now, what I learned, though, this 4th node was really difficult, but what I did learn is that make sure you do a suicide attack on the 4th node, and I use different characters kind of through different nodes, but what I learned the most is how powerful the Eternals are. Now, you can see here, I one-shotted basically after I did this suicide attack, so maybe it's not a one-shot, but it's close enough as far as being, like, level appropriate, you know, because all of my characters are, like, level 75 to 78. So I did learn that the Eternals, instead of using characters like Ghost, very squishy characters, I actually ended up using Cloak, Deathpool, and Sharon Carter. Now, Sharon Carter could have been replaced by someone else, but the whole point of this was that I got a lot of debuffs with these 3 characters, and the Eternals basically kept the turn bar in line for me to clear this node. If you guys have done Mission 4, it's very hard. I mean, I can't show you the enemies now because I've already cleared it, but there's a lot of AoE, a lot of bad attacks. But what I was able to do was to apply a lot of these debuffs, especially from Cloak, and then spread it around with Deathpool if there's any ones I didn't hit, or, you know, on targets where I had ability block from Sharon Carter, and I could use Deathpool to spread that around as well. So between the ability blocks and the blinds, you know, things were very crippling, and of course, the Eternals hit like an absolute powerhouse. So tomorrow we will be starting on global specifically, of which we're going to look at some of the characters that I have for that. So I want to go through my roster anyways, starting from a global. Actually, we're going to work our way backwards. So we're going to start at City, actually, and I'm going to show you what I use specifically for my first run and what my plans are for my second. So the first 2 nodes, the first 3 nodes, really, I managed to do it with Symbiote Spider-Man, Cloak, and I picked up Doc Ock. Now, the reason why I did Doc Ock was, well, you know, because I think that maybe if I still continue this account into Dark Dimension 4 Legendary, that I will still be using him. Also, I found it very difficult to do it with just Symbiote Spider-Man and Cloak. I found that, you know, some of the starting barrages were very difficult to get through, and I could not eat the damage with just 2 characters. So Doc Ock really provided that extra support that I needed. Now, the only reason why I didn't bring Dagger up until the final City node, and that's because I just did not have the Mystic gear to do that. I didn't have the Shogoth Iker. I don't know if there's any of that gear here that I can share with you guys, which one that is, if there was a damage piece. There's not. Okay, well, if you guys are familiar with the Shogoth Iker, it kind of has a different appearance. I don't know if any of the other characters, maybe Cloak, does he have any of that? I was looking for a tier 14 piece, but clearly none of these characters. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this one down here, I had the Celestial Lattice, but I didn't have the Shogoth Iker, and you can see that I'm still pretty low on it. Despite clearing Dark Dimension 3, I only got like 25 of them. So I was really, after doing Eternals and then now Cloak and Dagger, I'm essentially out of this stuff, so I won't be doing, and Deathpool. That's 5 Eternals characters I brought up to gear tier, 5 Mystic characters that I brought up to gear tier 14 for Dark Dimension 3. So yeah, I started off with Cloak and Spider-Man Symbiote first. Then I brought in Doc Ock, and then finally Dagger. And honestly, I think I'm probably going to just use these 4 for my second run. I honestly don't think you need any more than this, and I'm not going to really justify spending any of my resources at this time anyways, because I don't think I'm going to need to. Now, going back the way, as far as Cosmic, that was an easy one-shot for all 4 of the nodes. It was super easy because you have the Eternals. So again, Eternals is all you need here. They're so powerful. I can't understate how powerful they actually are. Because in case you, and I'm sure you guys know this, because they've been around for a little while now, but they are so powerful that all of your gear and all of your gold should be into getting them up ASAP. So Cersei is in the red stars now, and so I've been on the lookout for 4 red, and Icarus should be in pretty soon too, as of my calendar here, probably in just a handful of days now. And I was able to use Kestrel, Deathpool, and Phyla-Vell. These were the 5 characters that I had used for my Dark Dimension 3 Cosmic, and frankly, that was enough. Phyla-Vell was able to cleanse, put a little bit of barrier on, put offense down with her basic as well, and Deathpool would just spread any, remaining debuffs, whether it was Kestrel's defense down or offense down from Phyla-Vell, things like that. And I actually didn't really need any pure healing in this case. A lot of them had passive healing, so Icarus, Cersei, Kestrel, they had passive healing. Phyla-Vell could drain a little bit on her when she had Death Proof, and that's kind of hard to apply on her own, but it was still possible. Deathpool also has some healing mechanics as well, so it wasn't too hard, and the constant turn bar manipulation with Icarus and Cersei just made this really easy. So if you're in doubt, just kind of raise them and have some characters around the Eternals, and you'll get through Dark Dimension 3 Cosmic no problem. They're the absolute biggest powerhouse in this game. So in terms of global, and this is where I'm at a little bit of a crossroads, I think, and because I don't know what I want my 5th character to be. So I'm using the full Secret Avengers at this point. I got Sharon Carter a little bit later in my global run, probably about the 3rd global node when I first started out. But now I have all 3 of them, and I have Ghost. And the problem with Ghost is she's really squishy. If she gets hit by an unavoidable AoE, like a Namor ult, because that happens in Dark Dimension 3, any attacks, an assist, Miss Marvel assist, she gets really taken out pretty quickly because she can't apply offense down to characters like Miss Marvel when they get the assists in. And so her hit points is super low. 130k that I have, with 5 yellow, 3 red. And this can go very quickly in Dark Dimension 3 when characters have huge stat modifiers. So Ghost was a bit of a tricky choice for me. Like, I don't regret it because there wasn't a lot of good tech options, and it did help me a little bit. But as far as going the second run, I'm not exactly sure who's going to give me the most benefit for a 5th character. Now, I'm thinking of doing Jubilee. Again, Baron Zemo is pretty squishy, so in Dark Dimension 3, he's not going to add a lot of value here, but I think that Jubilee might. Now, I'm lucky because I managed to unlock Jubilee this last pass when she came, and so for that reason, I'm thinking of maybe taking her up, and then if I do happen to get into Dark Dimension 4 on this account, then obviously I'm going to get some value out of her there. But as far as another 5th character goes, at this stage, I'm not sure if I want to take... I think Jubilee might have more benefit than Shuri. I don't really need the support that comes from Shuri because I have Maria Hill. I mean, it would be nice, but a lot of the defense ups that come from, Cap Sam, for example, is kind of a little bit redundant with Shuri. So I think that having some extra support, some extra stunning, things like that with Jubilee could go a long way. As far as other characters go, I mean, really at that point, the only options are probably like Emma Frost, but I really don't want to build her at this point for this account because I don't think there's a ton of value long-term yet. Now, unless we get like a future Hellfire Club and things like that, I'm not prepared to level up and gear Emma Frost at this point. I don't even have a lot of training modules, so at the very least, I know that I'm going to get some return on Jubilee, whether it's for just, standalone in the Legendary lane or whatever, but at least I'll get it from her there. So that's my plans for Dark Dimension 3 for my second run. I'm not sure what I want to do with this account. Let me know in the comments down below what you think I should do with my baby account. I'm not sure how far I'm going to be taking this. I honestly don't know, like, what there's left for me to prove with this account, necessarily. I may, when I unlock new characters, just only take them to level 75, to a certain stage, whether it's Gear Tier 12, Gear Tier 14, and test them out that way, like, at a low account level. But other than that, like, I just don't know what the intentions or purposes that I have anymore for this account, because I'm kind of, even though I'm only Commander level 79, I'm kind of lining up more and more with kind of endgame, and we're going to talk about that with a few modes here, like the tower mode. So I know I'm not end game here with Avengers Tower at all. Actually, frankly, I'm only at floor 18, and this is at the end of day 3 that I'm recording this. So what I have so far is my goal for this is to get to milestone 4. This will give me the T2 ability orb fragments that I need, which is probably where I'm hurting the most on this account. Not having the T2 ability, the ability fragments, the material to upgrade some of my characters, but having some of these will allow you to widen your roster a little bit more, and so gold, probably the only thing that's going to crunch you, I would think, at this point, if you're a similar account like mine, is going to be training mods, which is still a crunch for my account. But as far as ability material goes, I used to complain a lot about T2s, but there's quite a bit of T2s here. So that's 7 orbs there, 4 orbs here, 5 orbs, 6 orbs. So 4, 5, 6, that is 15, you know, and then 7 more. So 22 T2 ability orbs. That's quite a bit. You get on average like 45 to 60 per orb. So you're getting an influx of like 600 plus T2s if you can get this milestone 4 anyways. The other ones aren't I mean, obviously would help, but I don't think I'm gonna clear all of this, because you would have to get to like, I don't know what floor to get to milestone 8, which is some of the more important ones. All of these have T3 ability orbs, which is important too as well, but I'm more concerned deeply about the T2. So I'm hoping to at least get to milestone 4, and that's my goals for Avengers Tower for my baby account. Now, moving on to Doom War, that's what I wanted to talk about, is Doom War. So I recently cleared and 3-starred Doom War 2.6, 2.4 through 2.6. I'm pretty sure in my last video I did talk about 2.1 to 2.3. I did use a mixed aim team with Shuri and Killmonger. If you want the exact team numbers, I would come onto my Discord channel, into my baby account channel. I do have that listed there. But as far as what I use for both 2.4, 2.5, and 2.6, well, I was at a bit of a crossroads, because clearly I did not want to put any more investment into my symbiotes, because I just think that symbiotes are dying with web warriors. So this team at 300k, and honestly I think that you could probably do this a little bit earlier. I did take symbiote Spider-Man because I'm using him in Dark Dimension 4 City. I think he still has standalone value, both as a Dark Dimension character, but as a wider, like, Hero Spider-Verse character. There's synergy there across him with the other characters. Now, I decided to put some investment further into Spider-Man and Miles. I had a 5 red OG Spider-Man and a 4 red Miles, so I said, hey, why not, right? So they're about 61k, 60, you know, you can see the power levels here. They're gear tier 12 and at level 74, so they're doing quite well here. Electro actually has the least amount of investment, 38k, but what makes her viable, of course, is that I'm actually using Doc Ock. So this does help significantly. If you don't have Doc Ock, and actually, I didn't clear this at tier 14, I cleared it at tier 12. So my Doc Ock at the time was tier 12. The total power level was probably closer to a 275k. I would also check my Discord channel where I posted, as I cleared it, what my power levels were for that. If you don't have Doc Ock, I would probably just replace Doc Ock with another Web Warrior character at that point. I would not really pivot to any Hand or Marauders characters. I would try to keep to the Spider-Verse, but I would really try to keep to Web Warriors as much as possible. If you hadn't leveled up Electro as well, just kind of use as many Hero Spider-Verse characters as you can. Now, if this includes Anti-Venom, you know, then go for it, you know, because you can use the Symbiote Spider-Man Anti-Venom with as many other Web Warriors as you can, but I didn't want to put any investment into Carnage, Venom, or Scream, so I didn't bother doing that. And I was able to use this entire team, and this worked all the way to 2.6. Currently, we're sitting at having to work at 2.7. Now, the reason why I haven't made any progress on this is mainly because, well, I'm waiting around for Scarlet Spider's event, and this is a bit of a problem. So I'm basing this on Baron Zemo, but as far as other characters go, I have a 7 red Crossbones. So I'm going to be using Crossbones, I'm going to be using Red Skull, I'm going to be using Hydra Scientist, and I think I'm going to be using Hydra Grenadier, just because of my red stars. My Rifle Trooper is not as good on the yellow and the red. So I'm going to be building this team here. I've been told that you can actually clear 2.7 through 2.9 at around the 200k power level. So there is some mention in my Discord channel as well. I posted some photos. There were some people who got back to me on my last video telling me what they cleared it with, and so that's my plans for this. I heard that you do need the T4s though on Baron Zemo's passive. He has a pretty good character to build up anyways, so I probably would just recommend this anyways, because he is a very strong, solid all-around character, and you're going to get some good use out of him in the game anyways. So do make sure that you bring up Baron Zemo, whether it's for Doom War 2.7 or just more generally in the game. So that's my plan there. As far as Doom War Chapter 3 goes, I'm not in a big hurry, because 3.6 has Yellow Jacket, I already have Jubilee, and then 3.9 is Multiple Man, and I honestly don't think that Adam Warlock is worth chasing anymore. I've mentioned many videos in this, and I just don't believe that you need to really go out of your way to chase down Adam Warlock at this juncture in the game. It's not a huge priority. If you get there, great, but I would not at this time build up X Factor to a high significant degree where you actually, you know, like, especially gear tier 13 and 14 with more mutants around the corner. We've seen the teaser about Apocalypse, so hey, save your gear for that. Now, you know, that's kind of about it. You know, just everything I've been doing revolves around the Eternals. Everything that I'm doing, whether it's the speed meta here or me taking the Eternals and using some other characters like Cap Sam around him, it's just Eternals, Eternals, Eternals. Everything is Eternals. I'm arenaing with Eternals, I'm dark dimensioning with Eternals, I'm blitzing and towering with the Eternals, I'm raiding with the Eternals, I'm warring with the Eternals. I'm doing everything with them. I'm running an alliance that does Ultimate 7. Now, I did downgrade from Doom Raid 1 because I actually just didn't want to put all the amount of time and effort into that, so I shoved my partner's account into that alliance instead. But, you know, even in Ultimate 7, you know, I'm building around the Eternals. So in this case, I'm using the Eternals with Kestrel and Deathpool and Cloak. So this is a very heavy sort of mystic team with Kestrel just because she's really good. Actually, I think I was using Maria Hill as a support character just for extra healing, standalone. But this is a very good team, and honestly, they're just so powerful. If you build around raids and mystics, you know, if you have Deathpool and the new warriors and you use the Eternals, that's really all you need. They just do so much damage that they're able to just obliterate anything in their path. And I really can't overstate. I forget which one it is now. Overstate, and my raid ended. Overstate, understate, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm just not thinking too clearly. I have a bit of a headache. You know, they're really the top part of my roster. And honestly, that's just all you need. This whole game has just been reduced to using Icarus and Cersei, at this moment anyways, on every game mode that you can possibly attach them to. They're good everywhere. And frankly, it's just absolutely insane how powerful they will probably continue to be. I honestly don't see, and I can't even imagine what things are going to look like when more Eternals come out. Now, I know it's not going to be for some time. We're probably looking at like the middle of 2022 at this point for more Eternals, but still, I can't imagine what a third Eternal would bring to the table. It's like when Symbiote Spider-Man came out to the game and, you know, you were being told that there were 2 more symbiotes down the line. I just could not fathom, like, what that would even bring to the team, and I can't do that with the Eternals. I'm like, what could they possibly bring to the team? It's just crazy. But as far as, like, wider upgrading for my roster, I'm just holding out for that Scarlet Spider event because I don't have a lot of training modules. I'll be honest, like, it might look like I do, but I don't. Like, I can take one of my lower level characters that I barely leveled, like, I don't know, maybe Jubilee even. I don't even know if I have the training modules to do this. Do I? Like, just barely. Like, it almost takes all of my training modules except for some of the greens, which isn't a ton left. So I maybe have about 7 to 8 million gold worth of training modules, and that's it. And that's because I've been saving, because I'm being a bit frugal about it. Now, you can see that I have a crap ton of gold, but I'm unable to spend it because I don't have the associated training mods with that. So, I don't know, guys. What am I going to do? So, we're just waiting until the Scarlet Spider event, and then I'm going to try my best to kind of level up my characters and get my roster moving a little bit more. But I kind of want a recommendation from you all. What should I do with this account? You know, I'm kind of nearing the end of my experiment, so I'm not sure what I want to do with this, but I'm going to think about something. I want to claw back some more personal time here in 2022, and, you know, maybe I'll have more time for other things, because I feel like I've kind of been doing nothing but Strike Force, because I do have 3 different accounts. I still want to do something with this. I'm just not sure what I want to do. So that's it for this video, for this baby account update, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and happy 2022 to everyone else, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.